A referee or Henry Honeyball not happy with the one of the match balls, and you can see that new ball that will be used in Currie Cup games.
And just as the referee's about to blow the whistle, so the ball falls over. And now we get play underway. And Transvaal are able to master it. John Allen can. Good driving play by Natal. They want it back now, though.
A penalty straight away for Natal, and Hugh Rees-Edwards, we mentioned earlier that apparently he kicked the ball well in practice, but had difficulty with the long ones. Well, normally this would be well within his range. With this new ball, this might be considered a long kick. Certainly Henry Honeyball kicked off well, and a lapse by Transvaal, not claiming it cleanly.
And the rugby not the only attraction here in Durban. There's an air show on the go at the moment, as you no doubt heard, with some jets flying overhead. And I'm sure that's not going to upset Hugh Rees-Edwards. The opportunity to put points on the board in just the first minute of the game here at Kings Park. How often have we seen that this season, hitting the upright? And can Natal capitalise on this? Cobus Visser coming away, the good tackle by Allen. Kenny LaRue running into trouble. And back it comes, and from within the 22. Wright's not going to find touch.
Well, Natal playing the ball when not on their feet. But wasn't that superb defence by Transvaal, turning it into attack? Cobus Visser, the big man, bursting out of defence and just passing to Henny LaRue, who was in support. And that, of course, has been the tremendous style of Transvaal, tremendous backing up this season so far. And certainly Theo van Rensburg striking that ball beautifully. And, of course, as it was a penalty, Transvaal will throw into this line out.
Cobus Visser, one of the Transvaal players who's going to be in that final trial. And what a fine season he's had. Let's see whether he's going to go up for the ball or whether we're going to see Kofi van der Merwe trying to get it back for Transvaal. Harry Roberts with the throw-in. And tap back on the Transvaal side. Transvaal Pinar going down, but Natal looking as though they're coming away with the ball. Robert Dupree. Allen burrowing his way forward. Robert Dupree working the blind side again. Natal penalised for going over the top.
Well, Robert Dupree clearly going to play that short side, and he's motivated. Do you see where he ran in there like a forward?
Hugh Rees-Edwards doing well to take that one and getting it back to Tony Watson. And he's going to find touch. A mistake there by Transvaal.
Yeah, but certainly the players are not finding as the touches of length that they thought. Think back to last week at Loftus. They were kicking 60, 70-yard touches. I know that was at altitude, but this ball clearly does not travel as far.
That's the big man, Cobus Visser, who does well to take it two-handed. Good support by Transvaal. Visser, in fact, pulling the players in to help him and leading them on. That's the halfway line. It's Garth Wright. Uses the right boot. And Rees-Edwards loses the ball. And Neil Penrose getting his first touch of the ball for Natal this afternoon. Tap back and eventually into touch.
Ball knocked forward, and John Allen very prominent in that movement, running away from the maul and also getting up for that high ball. Nice kick from Garth Wright from the base as well, setting up the Transvaal attack.
Break both sides. Break up. Hold it. Bella. Come boys, listen. Kom ons werk saam. Bind eers stewig.
Another scrum once again, the halfway line on the Natal number 8's boots. Booted forward, a difficult one for Robert Dupree. Honeyball can't master it either. Good tackle by Francois Pienaar. Jannie Breed going in there.
Well, Harry Roberts penalised, and Robert Dupree won't be happy with that scrum. Very, very messy indeed. You can see Garthright putting pressure on him, asking him to put the ball in quickly, appealing to the referee, and a very sloppy ball for Natal.
Well, let's see whether Rhys Edwards can judge his kick. Well, he certainly makes sure of his touch, but not a particularly long one, only about 15 metres. And maybe the players are battling just a little bit to get used to this ball. Sounds a bit like Flushing Meadows here at the moment.
It certainly does. From Francois Pienaar, and I think he's probably quite disappointed at not being in that trial.
John Allen with the throw in for Natal. Atherton gets it and loses it. Tidied up by Heinrich Rogers for Transvaal. Allen once again coming away and booting the ball on, and then having a bit of an altercation with the big Kobus Visser, and I don't think that's too wise.
Well, I think Kobus Visser was the peacemaker there. John Allen crashing into James Small.
The linesman indicating.
And that's good play by the officials. Linesman stepping in, and John Allen penalised.
Martin Klutzer being given the kick with the left boot. Penrose back to Rhys Edwards. Harry Roberts takes it nicely up to the halfway line. So the game being punctuated by penalties at the moment, not really flowing at all.
And Harry Roberts here, good tackle by Teichmann. And Roberts penalised for holding on to the ball. And once again a poor kick, punctuated by penalties and also poor kicking now. I wonder, is that players battling with this new rugby ball?
And is Jannie Breed going to take the drop out himself? No, he decides that his fly half should have the privilege. So Henny LaRue will be kicking to the open stand side of the field. Jannie Breed on his knees, getting it back, Arthur Wright. Harry Roberts again.
Hold it.
An inviting short side for Robert Dupree.
And Tony Watson going wide on that blind side. And Dupree with the kick. Theo van Rensburg is there. He's been challenged though, and he evades Watson. Decides to open up, coming across the field now. The long pass to Jeremy Thompson, and Transvaal really opening up from well inside their half. James Small tackled by Henry Honeyball. Good cover defence from him, and eventually Theo van Rensburg into touch, and Val Bartman now getting a bit angry.
Players getting a little bit excited there. The referee and linesman, I'm sure, will sort it out. Perhaps Val Bartman will be penalised.
Val, hij ziet hem geloop nadat die vlekje geblazen is, maar aanvaard. Ik word aanvaard het. Kom maar speel die ding skoon, hoor, okay?
You hear the referee say that Bartman played him after the whistle had gone, and John Allen at the same time saying we can't hear the whistle, and such is the atmosphere here at Kings Park this afternoon that maybe the players can't hear the whistle at times.
Well, Val Bartman, one of the hardest players around, but a very, very clean player indeed. But what a brilliant counter-attack by Transvaal.
Martin Klutz now moved to fly half for Transvaal. Henny LaRue gone to first centre. But Kobus Visser breaking away with it, getting it back to his skipper, Pienaar. Now Wright has it, forward of passing to MacDonald. Little chip over the top, being chased by James Small and Neil Penrose. And Neil Penrose has to put it into touch and goal.
A super kick by Garthright. And really one feels this is what Transvaal lacked at Loftus. This mixing up of play. Now this is a super kick from Wright. Little chip hanging in the air, and the chase was on. And Penrose, well, doing well with James Small behind him. And in fact, I think it's Dick Muir's taken a knock. Dick Muir so vital to Natal. Oh, and he's taken, looks like he's got a wee cut on the side of his head. Now, he won't be allowed to stay on if there is blood flowing. It looked like he's okay.
So as the first aid gentlemen go off the field, Henry Honeyball restarts the play with the dropout. And Allen, who really has been in the thick of things to start doing, comes away with it, carried on by Val Bartman. Picked up by Dupree. And that's Peter Miller trying to get his way through. Andrew Blakeway assisting him as Natal consolidate. Dupree waiting for the ball to come back again.
And Peter Muller really showing his strength there, bursting away, taking the tackle, staying on his feet.
So still no points on the board after 11 minutes have elapsed in the first half here at Kings Park. There's Garth Wright just about to put the ball in, and then the scrum almost collapses.
And Theo van Rensburg hovering behind this scrum. Possibly might come on the short side.
McDonald breaking away. Now he has the ball. And he's get it back to Garth Wright. Now he does use the blind side. Van Rensburg, the little chip through for Warren McCann. McCann is quick, boots it on, and McCann is going to go to score. Did he lose the ball? No, the try has been awarded. And so Transvaal put first points on the board. The referee just discussing with the linesman.
Well, let's have a look here. There's still discussion. I think the try has been disallowed. Did Warren McCann. He showed blistering pace. That kick through from Van Rensburg. Good refereeing. Again, good work between the referee and Ian Rogers. Clearly not a try. Scrum Natal.
So the referee first considering that it was a try, and then ruling that it should in fact be the 5-metre scrum, much to the delight of the Kings Park crowd. Those who are supporting Natal, of course. Dupree with the put-in. Once again, the shrill whistle of referee Albert Adams. Dupree gets it back to Henry Honeyball from well inside his in-goal area. And so Transvaal still very much on the attack, just 5 metres from the Natal try line will this line-out form.
Well, there's Ian Rogers, the man who I think disallowed the try. I'm not sure if Albert Adams had given it, but it was clearly the right decision.
Breaking away is Rogers, looking for the ball at Transvaal. Wright has it. The long skip pass to Martin Knutzer. He's held by Dick Muir.
Well, I think again the Natal backs offside and have been penalised. That'll be penalty to Transvaal. Garth Wright wants to take it quickly.
5 yards away, 5 yards. Hold it. 5 yards. Here you go.
And it looks like Transvaal are going to use a short move. Keep an eye on Big Kubus Visa here. Or possibly Ian McDonald.
So what should really be a fairly straightforward penalty and would probably result in 3 points. Transvaal are going to try something here. It is Kubus Visa who's trying to barge his way over, and he's got the try.
Well, there you are, Big Kubus Visa, a huge, huge man. And that's inventive play by Transvaal. And of course, the big man started to move. We'll have a look at it now in a minute. And of course, Natal couldn't advance until Garth Wright had touched the ball. That's good timing. And here we are, Garth Wright, the man controlling this. A little pop. And Kubus Visa. And that's super driving by the big lock.
Theo van Rensburg, who kicking last week against Northern Transvaal, kept Transvaal in the game, although they did eventually lose. He has his first kick of the afternoon. makes no mistake at all. So after 15 minutes have elapsed in the first half, Transvaal lead Natal by 7 points to 0.
And I think that's a deserved lead. That wonderful attack with Warren McCann just being denied by dropping the ball. And a little bit of inventive play, not going for the kick, taking that short move. And let's see how Natal respond.
Well taken by Van der Merwe, Kefi Van der Merwe. McDonald gets it back to Garth Wright. Chip over the top. Peter Miller takes it well. Reese Edwards receives it from him. Good play by Transvaal.
Hold it, knock on.
And Transvaal obviously have learnt from last week. Garth Wright controlling far more and certainly playing very well indeed.
Hold it. Go back Natal. Terecht daar. Back Natal.
Transvaal now splitting their back line. Martin Knutzer and Jeremy Thompson on the left. Henny LaRue on the right. With James Small very far away to his right. And it comes to Henny LaRue now. Back to Garth Wright. The chip through for James Small, but straight into touch.
So again, Garth Wright showing his speed, running, taking a loop pass from Henny LaRue. And just a slight mix-up with James Small.
And a quick throw in by Natal. And the referee calling them back. But they haven't heard the whistle, Yanni Briet and Reese Edwards. And the quick throw-in disallowed by referee Albert Adams.
Well, I missed that one.
Referee telling the players that the line-out had already formed, and so Reese Edwards was not allowed to take the quick throw-in, and Transvaal opting for the scrum. Garth Wright has it, and once again they kick down the line for James Small. Reese Edwards gets a kind bounce, and almost gets an unkind bounce from James Small, but gets his kick in just in time, and a very good kick indeed from Reese Edwards.
Transvaal have shortened the line-out, first short line-out we've seen, and Yanni Briet standing at the front of this short line-out. Of course, he played as a lock in his young days, and a super front of the line-out jumper, even still today. I suspect he might be a decoy. Ian McDonald at the back.
And then comes Steve Atherton, who was just tying up his bootlace, and that caused the delay. Harry Roberts. Now, Yanni Briet gets it to Garth Wright. Henny LaRue. Kefi Van der Merwe using the big Kobus Visser again. But the pass from Kefi Van der Merwe to Visser forward. And so Natal have the scrum and the put-in.
Lovely short line-out. Nice tap by Yanni Briet and well swung away by Garth Wright.
The Transvaal full of ideas this afternoon. Let's see what Robert Dupree is going to do with this one from the scrum. Gets it back to Honeyball. And Honeyball, the rolling kick for the touchline, and he is going to find touch.
Well, certainly the players seem to have got used to this new ball. The kicking has improved, and it really is quite a tactical game at the moment. Neither side, apart from that one run by Transvaal, really letting it go, but a lot of thought going into their play, and certainly very tough up front. It's a good game.
No doubt about that. And full marks at Transvaal because they elected to run from that short kick, and they were rewarded with their try, converted by Theo van Rensburg. Kobus Visser going over for the try. And Kobus Visser going up for the ball then, getting it for Transvaal. Garth Wright has it, Henny LaRue with the long kick, and is it going to beat Reese Edwards? No, straight into his safe hands. And the rolling kick from Reese Edwards delights the crowd here at Kings Park, and he keeps Natal in the Transvaal half of the field.
A good tactical play by Reese Edwards. Transvaal have been dropping the ball into the box, the high one into the middle, and he positioned himself well for the long diagonal.
At the back there. At the back, open it up 1 yard. Thank you.
Roberts, is he going to go for Kefi Van der Merwe this time? Kobus Visser had the last one. Van der Merwe has this one. And Transvaal starting the rolling maul up to their own 10-metre line. Van Allen hanging on the outside. Gary Teichmann now going in for Natal, but it comes back to Garth Wright. To Henny LaRue, the long pass to Jeremy Thompson, doesn't find him, now it does. Lucky bounce. And Martin Knutzer overruns him, so Thompson couldn't pass there. Booted forward by Natal. Garth Wright can't master it. And Peter Miller is there for the action. High beat a scrum.
Well, that certainly got the crowd going. Transvaal letting them down a little bit. Garthright fell on the ball brilliantly, just couldn't hold it. And Warren McCann doing the tied-in.
Natal with the put-in. Robert Dupree using the blind side. Can he barge his way? He's a strong man. Yes, he can. And Robert Dupree half, and he goes on that blind side. And this time he jinked his way through, receiving the ball from number 8, Gary Teichmann. And much to the delight, Natal have now scored their first try of the afternoon, and they have an opportunity of levelling the scores with the conversion.
Now this was super timing, and Robert Dupree, well, from there nobody is going to stop him. Even had Yanni Briet got to him, I doubt if he would have got him. All in the timing of the scrum. The number 8 feeding Robert Dupree, who didn't stop as he came around, and giving him those extra yards. And really, I think Garthright and Robert Dupree showing today what a problem the Springbok selectors have. Both terrific players. Garthright, all action, all buzz. Robert Dupree, that physical presence that has led to a try. What a nice choice to have as a selector.
Well, in a sense, it's a horrible choice to have as a selector. You know which one to put in. But Robert Dupree certainly doing the necessary there as the crowd here at Kings Park starts the traditional Mexican wave. Rhys Edwards, having missed one penalty attempt, now goes in for the conversion attempt, and he strikes it well, and straight through the middle. So Natal now on level terms after 21 minutes in the first half, 7 points apiece.
And interesting that attacking position came from Transvaal running the ball under pressure, getting penalised, ball getting hacked down. And one wonders, will Transvaal pay for being so dedicated to moving that ball early on? Sides are waiting for them now. Let's see.
Certainly have been playing adventurous rugby this season. As Henny LaRue just gets the 10 metres with the dropout. And neither side able to master the ball, which goes into touch. And Natal have the throw in.
Hold it.
Stern looking John Allen. And there you see the Mexican wave.
Surely one of the most boring things in sports stadiums these days.
Good jump by Platford for Natal. Robert Dupree has it back to Honeyball. And Dick Muir trying to find his way through, loses the ball forward. Referee waiting to see whether there's any advantage for Transvaal. But it's not to be, and so they'll be called back for the scrum.
Thumping tackle there by Henny LaRue.
Yeah, Hawks. Get them straight. Hold it up.
And Transvaal have got most of their players standing on that short side. You can see them there.
Martin Klutzer with the grabber through. Gary Teichmann coming in the back. And not directly to kick, but just running with the ball and doing remarkably well, making a good 10 metres before he goes down, taken on by Skipper. And Transvaal are going to get this one back. Natal have other ideas. Honeyball picks it up very nicely, can't find Dick Muir.
Well, some rather scrappy play. Good defence by Teichmann, turning defence into attack. And you can see here now Warren McCann. Now this is a bad tackle to miss by Warren McCann. Had he put Teichmann over there, well, Transvaal really would have been in business.
The Garthright feeds for Transvaal. Gets the ball from behind the feet of Yanni Briet. And once again, that high kick. Tony Watson has a difficult one to contend with, does well, as McCann tries to tackle him. And Dick Muir kicks up the touchline, but directly into touch. Certainly Garthright this afternoon really testing the Natal backs with that kick over from the base of the scrum and from behind the line out.
Yes, kicking has been very good. Hasn't put a bad kick in yet.
Yanni Briet palms it down. Once again, the big man Kobus Visser. Back it comes. Picked up by Martin Klutzer and MacDonald in there for Transvaal, as is Kofi van der Merwe. But all to no avail.
Well, Kobus Visser have been very, very prominent. Of course, scored that try, has done well in the lineouts. And he looks like he's got a sniff of a South African cap.
Rhys Edwards taking the kick quickly. And over the head of Yanni Briet, it goes into touch on the Transvaal 10-metre line, and Natal will have the throw in.
And Yanni Briet becoming more and more prominent in the line-out as the season goes on. And certainly looks like he's timing his bid for more international honours just nicely.
Right to the back of the line-out. Comes back on the Transvaal side, MacDonald. Long pass out to Martin Klutzer with the left boot. Is Hugh Rees-Edwards going to judge it nicely? Bounces a couple of times, but he takes it outside his 22. And with the rolling kick, doesn't find touch. Theo van Rensburg keeps it in the field of play. A long pass to Yanni Briet, who covered back very nicely. And Briet hasn't got a bad boot on him. And he's not going to find touch. Penrose slips. James Small is evaded by Penrose.
Kyk net hier in, manne. Julle moet op julle voete bly.
And Transvaal not staying on their feet when they're going into play that, diving on top and having the penalty awarded against them.
Well, Natal thinking of a kick at goal now. I'm sure with the wind behind, with the old ball, that Hugh Rees-Edwards would have had a smack at goal here, but it looks like he's going down touchline. Yanni Briet dragging Penrose. Well, difficult to see what happened.
Meanwhile, the touch kick's been taken. The touch has been found. That's the 22-metre line, Transvaal, just on the left of the screen.
That's difficult from our position, but it's actually getting quite dark out there, and I wonder, are we going to see rain? And I wonder what effect that's going to have on the handling.
Well, it certainly could rain a bit later on. As Bradford does well to take that one. Transvaal preventing the ball from coming out. There you hear the referee saying you're going over the top, and I'll keep on penalising you if you do that. And now Rees-Edwards, the opportunity with the penalty.
Well, Hugh Rees-Edwards is the one player who has struck this ball both from the hand and from place kicks beautifully today. He really seems to have mastered it. Of course, struck the post with that long penalty attempt earlier, and then converted from the touchline Robert de Prea's try.
There you see behind the post, 13 minutes remaining in the first half. The sides level pegging, but maybe not for just too long. Well, for the first time this afternoon, Natal go into the lead. Rees-Edwards putting over the penalty. Robert de Pree having scored a try which Rees-Edwards converted for Natal's 10 points, and Transvaal 7 coming from the try by Kobus Visser, converted by Theo van Rensburg. The dropout from Henny Leroux, certainly judging it very nicely, just over the 10-metre line. Teichmann picking it up.
Hold it. Okay, wag 'n bietjie. Hold it, hold it. Wag 'n bietjie, Bella, wag eers.
Well, plenty of chat away just to the left there. You can see Garth Wright talking to Henny Leroux, planning what they're going to do. Plenty of chat out in the Transvaal back line.
Seeing anything in?
There's a battle of the Lux going on between Muller and Reuters.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you could hear that. Ian Rogers saying there's a battle deluxe going on between Lud Muller and Heinrich Rogers. My goodness, that would be a battle.
Garth Wright has it in, has it out, and has it to Henny Leroux. Jeremy Thompson, the long pass, finds James Small, the little chip over the top. And good cover defence by Natal. Gary Teichmann coming across, but running into touch before he can get the ball inside, but very good defensive work by the Natal number 8.
Well, this Teichmann is another player who's caught the eye. Very, very fast indeed. And his corner flagging excellent there.
And now there's a ball with Harry Robertson, another ball on the field. There's a bit of confusion here.
But once again, it's clear that there's so much noise in the stadium that the players cannot hear the whistle.
And the quick throw-in taken by Transvaal. Well, that's what happened some time ago when Natal took the quick throw in. The lineouts had formed, and so Natal opting for a scrum opposite where the lineout had formed.
Luister mooi, luister. Luister hierso. Word kalm met die voor, hoor.
Referee having his hands full, coping with the two front rows. The scrum wheeling a little bit as Dupree waits for the ball, gets it back to Honeyball. And Honeyball decides this time that he put up the high kick. Yanni Breer takes it well. Francois Pienaar battling in there with his number 8.
Vinniger beskikbaar maak, nuwe reël vorentoe. Bal afgestaan. Wag 'n bietjie, Bulle, wag eers. Wag eers, Bulle, wag
There the
eers.
referee saying those are the new rules. Whilst Transvaal had the ball, Natal are going to have the put in.
Breek, Bulle. Breek 'n bietjie, kom ons kalmeer.
Interesting, Hugh Edwards is hovering this side of the scrum. And of course, this far out with their fullback having to stand back. That sets a problem for the Transvaal defence, but not now.
Vryskop vir julle. Ja, vir julle. Julle swaai die bal voor hy inkom, julle stoot voor die bal inkom.
Garthright taking the quick penalty for Transvaal.
Come here, it's for the side, man.
Go to the penalty or the free kick rather being awarded to Natal.
Julle swaai hom voor die tyd. Kom. Ja, hulle vryskop. Hulle vryskop, julle swaai hom voor die tyd. Julle stoot voor die bal inkom. Net daar waar jy is.
There the referee saying that Transvaal pushing and wheeling the scrum before the ball was put in.
Well, there you are. Garthright thought the free kick had been given the other way. Robert Dupree took it and fumbled. And that's really, well, not a very good advertisement for rugby. They'll bounce back.
Garthright has it back now. And again, the kick. He's tackled by Dupree. Penrose does well to take it and kick with the left boot. Garthright really jack in the box, has it back to Yanni Breer. He has time to consider his move. Gets it back to Garthright again, running right across field. Out now to Warren McCann. He runs into trouble. He's upended. High tackle, no doubt.
Hold up. It was your penalty, and you went in. I'm turning it around.
Warren McCann, the victim of that high tackle.
Well, this really is silly by Transvaal. It's silly play, messing around, silly passes. There's the high tackle by Peter Muller. He's guilty for a few of those, and Garthright then retaliating, and that could cost his side 3 points. But really, Natal ready for it.
And the referee calling the two captains together now as we watch that unfortunate tackle on Warren McCann again.
You speel Garthright die man direk daarna. Kom, kalmeer julle manne, hoor.
But once again, Natal ready for these surprise long passes from Transvaal. Transvaal playing backwards as they did last week against Northern and getting caught.
Warren McCann certainly in a difficult situation. He was taken from the bottom by Tony Watson, and Peter Miller changing direction took him round the neck and took a nasty tumble.
Well, that's Chris Dirks, a promising young player from Rand Afrikaans University, warming up. And of course that's his club mate Warren McCann, who's injured.
I gave you the penalty straight away for that high tackle. Yes.
And they are once again just trying to hear that. I think Garthright didn't realise the penalty had been given, and that's why he continued to play. So maybe as well as getting a new type of rugby ball, they should get a new type of whistle that everyone can hear. Hey, Simon?
I suppose it would help this afternoon because the atmosphere really is electric, the crowd vociferous, and the players battling to hear the whistle on occasion. And Garthright then has been told by the referee that he did award the penalty to Transvaal initially as Rhys Edwards places the ball. 2 out of 3 so far.
And you can see Garthright there under the post telling the linesman about it. One of the cleanest players around, Garthright. And I'm sure that's what happened.
The crowd hushes and then it goes delirious as Rhys Edwards as his second penalty of this afternoon. 13 points to 7 now. Natal lead Transvaal.
And looking at the way Rhys Edwards is kicking the ball, with the old leather balls, he used to belt it, if you remember. He would have belted it. He's obviously worked out that you have to kick smoothly, chipping it through the post each time. And that seems to be the secret.
Yes, he certainly seems to have changed his stance, stroking it far nicer than before. There's Ball is tapped down. John Allen going in and then retreating a little bit.
Transvaal bal, jy moet hom vinnig beskikbaar maak. Word hulle bal. Maak nie saak, is in die lug. Losgemaal. Hou dit. Natal kom terug. Come back Natal. Hold it up.
What's Wright going to do this time? He's going to pass out to Henny LaRue. And back it comes. Knocked down by Peter Muller and kicked on. This could be dangerous. Jeremy Thompson falls on the ball. Picked up by Honeyball. The long pass out to Allen. Drops it though. Little pass from Atherton. And once again it seems the players having difficulty in hearing the referee's whistle.
Well, Peter Muller was nearly away there. I don't think anybody would have caught him. Once again, a Transvaal loop move. Perhaps a little bit of over-elaboration.
Kom Max, get them straight.
Garth Wright kicking across for his left wing. He's hanging back a little bit. Tony Watson's got room to move. Warren McCann does well to upend him. Francois Pinaar there. MacDonald as well for Transvaal.
Hold it.
Eventually Bartman coming away after the whistle is gone.
And that Transvaal scrum looking very solid indeed. Just look at the platform Garth has to vary his game so well.
Breek a bietjie.
Gerard Harding popping out there.
Manne, kom ons werk saam. Toe julle is twee groot spanne man. Kom ons werk saam.
Banga van der Merwe certainly looking as though he's had a tough time in the engine room this afternoon. Right to LaRue, looking for Knutzer. He's upended. Once again, a good tackle, good defence by Natal. Picked up by Small running across field to Warren McCann. The long kick downfield, being chased by Robert Dupree. And he plays safe and dots it down. Those little chaps enjoying the game.
I think they're the guys who played in the mini rugby beforehand, and didn't they play well?
Certainly lovely to watch the youngsters here at Kings Park getting their taste of what it's all about before the main teams come out. High hanging drop from Henry Honeyball. Away comes Andrew Blakeway with the boot. And straight to Warren McCann. Garth Wright running into a little bit of trouble. Good driving play from Natal again. Interesting that Peter Miller's going in right there to try and get the ball back for his team. Dupree has it now with the left boot. It's straight to Van Rensburg. Oh, almost intercepted by Tony Watson, who's come right across from the right wing.
Oof, and that was nearly an intercept. But what was impressive about Natal's play there was not alone was Peter Muller in there working like a forward, but also Henry Honeyball. Kept possession and got it out. And I think it's not Peter Muller, I think it's maybe, I can't see, one of the Natal players has taken a knock. I think it might be John Allen. Yeah, John Allen. Of course, number of caps for Scotland. What a great battle he had there with Kenny Milne, I think, wasn't it? Fighting for that hooking berth.
Well, John Allen coming back to resume his place in the middle of the front row. The two packs can now go down, and Garth Wright can feed the ball. And
James Small standing very, very flat to this scrum. I thought for a minute they were going to move it.
Natal going offside at that scrum, and Transvaal being given the penalty from just inside their 22.
And of course in the old days the ref might have played advantage, but now we'll bring them back to kick because they'll retain possession should Van Rensburg find touch.
So Theo Van Rensburg making sure of his touch. And Harry Roberts will have the throw-in. Well, Bartman there in the picture. Kobus Visser again doing well for Transvaal. Garth Wright. This is out Martin Klitzer, not intentionally, and Henny Naru coming away with it now. The high kick. And Neil Penrose taking it outside his 22. Then kicking straight downfield. James Small there to take it on for Transvaal. The high kick being chased by Jannie Breert. Back to James Small. Transvaal have it. Once again, Kobus Visser being used as the human battering ram. And Transvaal taking it on. Eventually going down. But the referee playing the advantage. Now bringing the players back for the penalty to Transvaal.
Well, that was good play by Transvaal. Running it from defence. Jannie Breert and James Small managed to retain possession. And a chance now for Theo van Rensburg to kick it goal.
We've already had 41 minutes of play in the first half. Of course, we have had the odd stoppage, in particular that stoppage when Warren McCann needed attention. An important kick, this one now for Van Rensburg, with half-time almost upon us, and Natal 13-7 ahead.
Well, there's a sight a couple of years ago you wouldn't have seen. A strange rugby ball, a strange tee. Now very much a part of rugby in this part of the world.
You have a nice view of the goalpost, as seen by Theo van Rensburg. Has the distance, has the direction, and has 3 points as the half-time whistle goes, does it? So half-time here upon us at Kings Park, and Theo van Rensburg slotting that penalty on the stroke of half-time, and Natal
Seen this season. It's very, very tense, very exciting, although Transvaal showing a lot of mistakes, making mistakes when they're put under pressure.
They're waiting to start the second half. And underway we are now as Transvaal kick away towards the grandstand. Comes back on the side of Transvaal, Garth Wright. Jeremy Thompson runs into all sorts of trouble, gets the ball back to Wright, working the blind side. Inside to Harry Roberts, he's a burly man. That was a nasty knock, but the ball comes back. Jannie Breert picks it up. Garth Wright has it. Henny Naru looking for a way through, kicking for the corner flag, but Rhys Edwards well placed, well in position, and a finding touch.
And Garth Wright is injured there now. He took a very heavy tackle from Steve Atherton, a sniping little half break from Wright, and got rid of the ball as he was tackled by Atherton. Ooh, and he's in trouble. And of course Garth Wright, who broke his leg last year at a vital stage. Ooh, and that's a big man landing on top of him.
Nothing wrong with the tackle.
No, he's in trouble. Well, now they seem to be treating him as though it's cramp, straightening his leg up like that, but it looks like a very bad cramp indeed. And this would be a tragedy for Transvaal, and let us hope that there is nothing too serious there. Garth Wright certainly was in our frame for man of the match, and that'll be Kobus van Deventer, young Wits scrum half. As Wally Walters taking Garth Wright off, they're taking no chances. And incidentally, Wally Walters has been named as the liaison man for the All Blacks when they come out here, and they couldn't have made a better choice. Now that is a sad sight for rugby and for Transvaal in particular. Garth Wright going off injured. What a fine game he's been having.
No doubt about that. A big blow for Transvaal. Tap back. Van Deventer still waiting to get his first touch of the ball. Comes back on the side of Natal though. Robert Dupree. Dick Muir with a kick across field for Neil Penrose, but it's going to beat both Penrose and James Small into touch. Garth Wright looking in a fair amount of pain as he came off the field, and immediately Kobus van Deventer went on. Will take over at the base of the scrum. Jannie Breert tapping it back but losing it, and Rogers carrying on for Transvaal.
And that's unfortunate for Kobus van Deventer getting two shocking balls, his first touch of the ball. But both times getting it bad. Now his chance to feed the scrum. And let's see if there's any problems here. Transvaal scrum has been rock solid. Timing has been very good so far. And just watch Robert de Pre put pressure on Cobus van Deventer. And in fact, he doesn't.
Van Deventer manages to get it back to Henny LaRue. And the long pass out to Van Rensburg is coming to the back line to Warren McCann. And he's certainly been upended a few times this afternoon as Warren McCann. Picked up by Van Deventer. And Natal guilty of not remaining on their feet. And Transvaal getting the penalty. And Theo van Rensburg indicating to referee Albert Adams that he'll go for posts.
Well, this is a fair test of character for Cobus van Deventer. Even though there've been a couple of penalties, hasn't been his fault. He'll be conscious that he's been struggling the first couple of times he's got the ball. Of course, not his fault, but let's just see if it affects him. And let's just see if Natal really try and play on this and put a lot of pressure on him.
So Van Rensburg successful with that kick on the stroke of half-time. And now at the second half, almost 4 minutes old, he has the opportunity to put the sides level once again.
And thankfully the weather seems to have recovered a little bit. At one stage it looked like it was going to rain. Seems to have brightened up a wee bit now.
Yes, the sun's starting to peep through. This is going to smile brightly and kindly on Van Rensburg. Certainly struck it very well. Yes, it is going to smile. And both these sides level pegging at the top of the Currie Cup log with 12 points apiece. And here they are doing battle for the first time this season. And after 4 minutes in the second half, on level terms.
And I'll tell you one thing, both sides would love it to end at 13-all. Of course, if they both got 1 point from the game, they would both qualify for the final.
Robert de Pre seemed a little bit hesitant in picking up that ball there. With the ball not travelling 10 metres from the kick-out.
And it's interesting that you say that about Robert de Pre, because just a suggestion that he's not so good when that loose ball comes from a line-out. Seems to stand back a little bit, which is strange because he's such a big, strong, physical player. We'll keep an eye on that one.
The referee bemoaning that every time they go down, they don't go down at the same time. Van Deventer a better ball this time to Henny LaRue, kicking for the left wing. And Martin Klutzer going up very quickly, but offside.
Strafskop hier, skram daar. Strafskop hier, skram daar. Net aan die middellyn.
Val Bartman opting to take the scrum from where Henny LaRue kicked the ball.
Ja. Gooi die bal. Kom boys. Wacht eers. Asai, dankie. Staan stil. Recht daar staan stil, as heeltemal reg vir jou.
The referee is happy with the scrum, so Robert de Pre puts the ball in and gets it to Dick Muir, who can't take it. Knocks it on to Jannie Breed.
Francois penalised for being offside.
Nummer 6, onkant.
And Cobus van Deventer got his pass away there a couple of minutes ago well, but of course Transvaal will miss Garth Wright's experience. The man at the base, the little general, and for everybody, that'll run through the side. The forwards know there isn't someone who can really control there. And I think the odds are going to swing, especially if Rhys Edwards can kick this goal towards Natal.
And the ball falling over, so a couple of times this afternoon we've seen this new ball falling over just as the players have been about to kick it.
I thought you were going to say just as the players have been falling over, Simon.
And Rhys Edwards requiring a little bit of assistance from Robert de Pre.
And of course kicking into the teeth of what is quite a strong wind.
Trying to keep it low, but they're losing direction and losing distance. Transvaal decide against opening up from behind their try line. Jannie Breert is going to take a quick drop out. Finds Kobus Visser. Back to Breert. To Kofi van der Merwe. MacDonald has the ball as he goes down. Van Deventer tries to find Harry Roberts. Natal in the form of Andrew Blakeway in offside position.
And the referee's been very strict on the offsides, and that's good. There's nothing worse for players. And you can see it there. But good support play by Transvaal. Jannie Breert, that quick drop out, and good support from the big men.
Van Rensburg kicking it low. And Rhys Edwards keeping it in the field of play, but he'll have to hurry as he's challenged by McCann. And hurry he does and get a fairly useful touch.
Well, that's brilliant play by Hugh Rhys Edwards. Took the risk of knocking it back into play and has maybe gained 20 metres in doing so.
Transvaal calling for the short line out. Towards the back, but tapped out for Natal.
They're using the inside arm, I think. So a free kick to Transvaal.
Yes, you go, free kick.
Using the outside arm, I should say. Yes, that's what the free was for.
So Van Deventer finds Henny LaRue and MacDonald on the rampage, put into a wall of black and white jerseys.
Transvaal, jullie my bal vinniger beskikbaar stel, jullie staan hom af. Dit word Natalbal, nie reël.
So that free kick not going the way the Transvaal would have liked it. Robert Dupree has it into the scrum. The scrum wheels a little bit. Now Robert Dupree changing direction, kicking with the left boot. Theo van Rensburg going back for it, as is James Small. Outside he's 22. And he can't evade the Italian. And he's pushed into touch by Neil Penrose.
And that's very good play by Robert Dupree. A very, very well thought out kick, making room for himself and using his weaker left foot.
John Allen to the back of the line out, tapped down by Platford. Honeyball looking for the sport. Peter Muller loses it forward.
Well, look how annoyed Peter Muller is with himself there. So big and strong, a half gap there. Well, that's really the only time he's had a chance. Platford again. Natal, that tactic of standing a big man, one from the end, working quite well.
Ek praat elke skram. Ek praat elke skram Waalbaan. Kom ons gaan dit gelyk af. Kom.
And the free kick being given to Transvaal for Natal. Not going down correctly, and Martin Klutzer being given the free kick.
Well, it looks like he's going to launch the high bomb here. A bit too far, I think.
Rhys Edwards, if he takes it, will have enough time, and he does take it. Decides to pass it. Robert Dupree, a lovely rolling kick from Robert Dupree. Certainly the last two kicks have been absolute gems from Robert Dupree.
Well, I wonder if Garthright going off has affected Robert, almost as though the little battle is now over for the day and Robert can concentrate on the game. Again, super take from Rhys Edwards, and he doesn't drop much. But look at this. That's real Gareth Edwards stuff.
Harry Roberts with the throw-in for Transvaal, and KP van der Merwe with the take for Transvaal. Transvaal wants us back before it goes to ground. So Transvaal taking the ball on the line out, making about 5 metres, and Natal have the put in. Teichmann breaking away. Bar Bartman not being able to pick up the pass. Henry Honeyball being ankle tapped by Francois Pinard.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite a nice move by Natal. Teichmann and Dupree run wide, and the ball gets turned inside to Bartman. But unfortunately, not coming off. Coaches will be noting that for future reference. This one against the head.
picked up by Val Barkman. Now Robert Dupree has it. Dummy to Honeyball. Can't find support. Big Kobus Visser again picking it up. Van Deventer coming away with the ball, being tackled by Peter Miller. Harry Teichmann picking it up, finding John Allen. Henry Honeyball through the gap. He's got support. But the Transvaal defence stands firm.
Well, this game is gripping in a very different way to the game last week. Far more mistakes, far tighter. But at 13-all with 27 minutes to go, full house again, very exciting. That's Francois Pina. I think just tying his shoelace. No, he's taken a knock.
Certainly has taken a knock. With blood coming from just above the nose, just above the eye.
Now, of course, he won't be allowed to continue with that flowing blood. Although he is continuing, and that's interesting.
Quite right, John. He should have gone off the field to have that attended to, but he certainly has no intention of leaving the field of play.
Henry Honeyball standing fairly flat, and Neil Penrose, but once again Natal penalised, and Lud Muller very annoyed, and his teammates very annoyed with him. And it looks like he might be more interested in his private battle with Heinrich Rogers than with scrummaging for his side.
The quick tap kick taken from James Small. Here van Rensburg running into trouble. Now this could be dangerous for Transvaal. Actually picked up by Van Deventer and kicked for touch. He's not going to find touch though. Penrose has the ball. The long pass out, taken by Teichmann. But the whistle is gone.
Well, that was excellent play by, the whistle has gone for a forward pass. Again, they haven't heard it. But that was excellent play by Andrew Blakeway. He read that situation, made up the gap, and put a lot of pressure on Theo van Rensburg. Transvaal very, very slack indeed on getting that ball cleared. Well done, Blakeway. Now here on, I just watch Blakeway coming in here. Very, very quick indeed, and I think his own players, Theo van Rensburg maybe being put off by his own players. Oh, and now he's in trouble. And well done, Kobus van Deventer. Doesn't he look like Stompie Fourie? Especially in that Transvaal jersey.
Meanwhile, back to play, and the kick from Van Deventer into Natal territory. It was hoofed for touch.
Now, didn't Neil Penrose run back into his 22? He did indeed. And once again, good play by linesman Ian Rogers and referee Albert Adams. I saw Neil Penrose just look sideways as he cleared. He thought he'd got away with it, but hadn't done so.
So many things that the referee has to keep an eye on these days. And well done to referee Albert Adams there. So the Transvaal line-out, taken by Visser, Van Deventer, Kenny LaRue, MacDonald in the back line. He's got Francois Pina with him in support. Once again, Kobus Visser going in there.
Jammer, julle manne moet hom beskikbaar stel voor hy vaskom. Julle gaan met hom eers dood, julle staan hom af. Kom.
Now this is, Transvaal will be very annoyed at this because they're getting a chance to run a big man, Ian MacDonald, at the heart of the Natal backline, and they're losing possession. Having done the hard work, the small things are letting them down.
Robert Dupree decides that he'll kick from within his 22 and doesn't make any mistake at all. The crowd certainly enjoys it, and that pushes Transvaal back to about 8 metres inside the Natal half. Kobus Visser, he's had a great game this afternoon. Very mobile for such a big chap.
He's a lot bigger when you're down there than he is from looking up here.
Van Deventer has it out to Henny LaRue. The high kick for Warren McCann on the left wing. Tony Watson takes it well, gets the kick in. Isn't going to get his touch though. Kobus Visser can't take it. Harry Roberts can. Van Deventer has it. Along the ground, picked up by LaRue. Trying to jink his way through. Bongo van der Merwe there to assist his fly half.
Dit bly Transvaal se bal, Natal. Julle het hier oorgegaan. Dit bly hulle bal vorentoe. Ja. Jy daar oorgegaan. Hou dit. Dit bring hulle die bal uitkom.
Ooh, and Jannie Breert just stamping on Lut Muller there. That's very untypical.
Ek gaan minder praat, ek gaan nou meer straf vir julle. Breek op. Geef vir niemand nie. Kerels, kom ons werk saam, man. Jy moet.
Referee certainly having a right royal battle with those two front rows. Van Deventer has it now. Henny Leroux can't take it. Almost kicked through by Robert Dupree. Well tidied up by Van Deventer. But unfortunately came straight into touch.
Well, it doesn't matter that he didn't find touch there. It was brilliant covering. But once again, Transvaal showing when you can get them going backwards that in fact they're very vulnerable indeed. And this was a bullet-like pass, a little bit low. And from here on, Transvaal were in big trouble. Great recovery from Van Deventer.
John Allen has received the code words. He knows where he should throw the ball. Right to the back, obviously, but not to come back on the Transvaal side. Jannie Breert, his pass out to Henny Leroux. The high kick from the Transvaal fly half. Tony Watson does well to take it. Not too many Natalians in support, though.
And referee apologising there, making a mistake. But what a super take from Tony Watson. Superb. It was a swirling ball. The ball wasn't dropping in any straight line. Took it well. But Transvaal attacking.
And Deventer finds his fly off this time. Jeremy Thompson can't find a way through. Natal going in there, getting the ball back. Lob pass picked up by Atherton. And back comes to Teichmann, who kicks. Jannie Breert, good to cover defence from him again. He runs straight at Tony Watson, who does.
Eerste die hele aangeslaan.
Well, just watch Jannie Breert here. He drops the shoulder. Bang! And what a good tackle again by Tony Watson.
Nee, Robert, dis Transvaal bal. Natal het eerste aangeslaan. Hou 'n bietjie vas. Aan die ander kant gaan ons af. Breek op. Ja. Nee, luister Belle, luister.
Eventually the scrum settles down. Van Deventer gets the ball in and gets it out to Henny Leroux. And he loses the ball. Picked up by Peter Miller. Can he get away? Can he get his pass out? Penrose can't take it. Dick Muir can. Almost up to the 22 on Natal.
Once again, I think playing the ball when on the ground. Yep. But just for a moment, Natal looked like they were going to break through there.
Once again, Peter Miller, the strong man in the centre. And Kobus Visser, certainly one of the stronger men going down the Transvaal side. Jannie Breert, Leroux. He finds James Small, the kick ahead. Well taken by Teichmann. Now Bartman in to assist him. James Small in the thick of things coming in from the right wing. Robert Dupree gets it eventually. The referee indicating that he was contemplating a penalty, waiting for the advantage. Natal certainly have the advantage. Chipped ahead again. Henry Honeyball chasing. Warren McCann is back there. And the ball eventually into touch. Are they going to take a quick throw in? Yes, the long deep one. But the whistle has gone once again. The players haven't heard it. Good refereeing there, waiting for the advantage, and the advantage coming the way of Natal, and eventually the ball going into touch.
Transvaal. Luister eers, luister. Val, die bal oor die bal ingegooi en die veld getrap, hoor. Hier is ons merk, hier.
Well, That was an extraordinary bit of play because Neil Penrose, everybody stopped when he caught the ball from that high kick. And in fact, play went on. And this is where Natal should be looking at a half wheel to isolate Van Deventer. They haven't done so. Now it's on, and it's they've caught him.
And he has Robert Dupree, and a wild pass, and hasn't been got it down, certainly now. And James Small not too happy with being pounced on by Peter Miller. Big tension's running high out there.
Yanni Beard wanted to take the quick drop out, but this was incredibly close. And I think the ball was dotted down there. Cobus Van Deventer, well, having a torrid time at the back of that scrum.
Honeyball getting the ball back to Rhys Edwards, and the rolling kick for touch. James Small letting it go into touch. There's the Transvaal will have the throw in. They're slowing down play a little bit because tempers are flaring a bit.
There's a lot going on just underneath the surface here, and most of it, I think, starting in that front row.
Certainly the crowd really participating. Almost sounds like a cup final at Wembley. You can hardly hear the referee, you can hardly hear the veldtoerder.
But that was interesting because what Natal did there was they're trying to half-wheel that scrum to put Robert Dupree in Cobus Van Deventer's pocket, so to speak. Now, they didn't get the half-wheel on initially, but then they got it on, and Van Deventer was tackled. And that's really where Garth Wright's experience would have come in. But of course, still 13-all, 16 minutes to go. And as we said, both sides would be fairly happy. I would suggest if you offered them the draw at this stage, they'd take it.
I doubt they'd take it. But as you say, still 16 minutes left. Kobus Wisso can't take it. Robert Dupree can. Henry Honeyball gets it over his shoulder. Dick Muir tries to drop. Slides off the side of his boot. The whistle is gone once again.
And I think the ball knocked forward in the line-out from a Transvaal hand. And again, referee bringing them back, having played good advantage. And I was wondering when somebody was going to think of a drop goal as an option. One gets the impression the next score could in fact decide this game. And Honeyball is dropping deep.
Dupree waiting for the ball. Gets it to Honeyball. Peter Miller can't take it. Booted ahead by Martin Klutzer. Ball bounced unkindly for him. Very nicely for Penrose. Can't run his way out of trouble though. And Transvaal should get the put in here.
Well, a very elaborate type of move from Natal. Didn't look very convincing.
Hou 'n bietjie vas, Bulle. Wag eers.
15 minutes to go.
And 15 minutes, no doubt, of excitement for the crowd here. No one, I can assure you, is leaving the stadium here at Kings Park. 13-all it is. And an important, extremely important game for both sides.
And just look at that short side. Now Henry Honeyball has gone across to cover it. Very inviting short side of about 25 metres.
Van Deventer out to LaRue. The long pass to Theo van Rensburg. Intercepted by Tony Watson. Can he go away? Or the knock on the water? The knock on the water.
Back.
Tony Watson hasn't heard it. Henry LaRue hasn't heard it, but they'll have to come back. And the crowd will be rather more subdued than they are at the moment. Have you ever seen a dejected look in your life? Well, there it is.
Knocked on. And look at Kathy van der Merwe. He knows they've been given a chance. Well, now, did it hit his legs? That's the interesting thing. Of course, we've got the benefit of that excellent replay. But what is interesting is the pressure that Natal put on that Transvaal backline.
Natal have the put in at the scrum.
Well, of course, the first knock-on was from the Transvaal player, Theo van Rensburg, I think.
So Robert Dupree gets it out to Henry Honeyball, to Dick Muir, and Peter Miller trying the crash through, but unsuccessfully.
Well, Peter Muller's had about 3 or 4 quarter chances. They haven't even been half chances. Every time he's had a snip, he has caused trouble. In fact, there's a smashing battle going on between himself and Jeremy Thompson.
Picked up by Robert Dupree, finds Dick Muir. Tony Watson coming back into trouble. Can he get the ball away? Hard physical battle out there. No, he can't. Van Deventer has it out to Jannie Breert. Theo van Rensburg, the rolling kick for his right winger, James Small. He picks it up. That's a 10-metre line. Inside to Theo van Rensburg again. He'll hoist the high one. Back has to go to Hugh Reese-Edwards. The ball bouncing right across field. Can he get his stick in? Yes, he can. Good play by Reese-Edwards again.
Well, that was a fabulous piece of play. Wonderful counter-attack by Transvaal and great defence by Hugh Reese-Edwards. But that was started up by a tremendous tackle by Henny LaRue. As Thompson came inside, he was dumped backwards by Henny LaRue.
So the game seesawing, certainly keeping the crowd on their toes. First, Tony Watson going over for a try, which was disallowed. The players were called back. And now Hugh Reese-Edwards having to salvage at the back and kick Natal out of trouble. Visser tapping it back. McDonald burrowing in. Jannie Breed, you can hear there, holding him.
You see Francois Pina on the right, very, very annoyed about that decision. But the referee has been consistent. He's been very strict on that throughout the day. And that's a super kick.
Theo van Rensburg unable to keep it in the field of play, as Hugh Reese-Edwards did in the early part of this second half. And a very good kick from Hugh Reese-Edwards. Natal midway between the try line on the right of the screen and the Transvaal 22. And of course Natal has the throw in.
Well, this is gripping stuff, and just listen to that crowd. And the players down there, I promise you, can't hear the signals. They're having difficulty hearing the whistle when it blows. 11 minutes to go, 13-all.
And I think Natal backline has some move up its sleeve here. A lot of whispering going down the line. And Penrose moving out a fair distance.
And Tony Watson hovering in midfield.
Allen finds Atherton. Difficult ball for Robert Dupree to take. He lets the forwards tidy up. Now he'll want it. And he gets it. Thinks of the blind side. Gets out to Henry Honeyball. To Peter Miller. Dick Muir. Good defensive play by Transvaal. Are they going to open it up here?
That was good play by Jeremy Thompson. Transvaal thought about running it, but he knew what was needed was to clear his lines.
Maybe Jeremy Thompson knew that move when he was playing for Natal, so he was waiting for it.
Again, just a hint that Robert Dupree possibly stayed away from that tap ball in the line out. Easy to be critical from up here. You could drive a bus through that line out, couldn't you?
Yeah, it looks a very long meter. Taken by Steve Atherton. Around the fringes comes Gerard Harding. In goes Loort Muller. Natal won't want to kill this ball. And they don't. Robert Dupree has it. Henry Honeyball with the high one.
Well, Transvaal penalised for offside, and once again Francois Pina questioning it, but the referee has been very consistent. It's slowed the game down. There have been stoppages, but the one thing that annoys players more than anything is players allowed to play offside. But that's another bad kick from Henry Honeyball. A couple of times he's gone to launch those high ones, hasn't kicked them well. This time lucky because his side has been awarded the penalty, and this could be a vital one.
Well, the Kings Park crowd will absolutely erupt if Hugh Reese-Edwards can be successful with his third penalty of the afternoon. He's missed a couple, one in the first half and one earlier on this half, and it's a very long distance. It's only about 12 metres in from the touchline and just back from the Transvaal 22.
But of course into a very strong gale, and with this new ball, well, I think he'll do well to reach it.
The crowd will tell you the story, and indeed they do.
Well, I said he drew well to reach it. Well, he certainly did well. And again resisted the temptation to thump that ball, stroked through it, and has put his side ahead.
So 8 minutes remain in this vitally important Currie Cup game. Natal lead Transvaal by 3 points. The high dropout picked up by Steve Atherton for Natal. Cobus Visser once again in the thick of things. Comes back to Robert Dupree. Here van Rensburg. Is he going to open up? A high one with the left boot. And the mark given to Henry Honeyball. A quick kick, and from inside his 22 he finds touch. He also finds Harry Roberts. Contemplates and takes a quick throw in from Jannie Breed back to Harry Roberts. Running across field. Back it comes to Van Deventer. Henny LaRue. Out it goes to Jeremy Thompson. The long pass from Theo van Rensburg to James Small. There's support inside in the long pass to Henny LaRue. Runs into one of his own men.
Well, that was brilliant running by Transvaal, and in particular Theo van Rensburg. His work rate to get into a passing situation there was exceptional. But of course, they've lost the initiative, and that'll be a scrum to Natal. Now, as this ball went, have a look at Theo van Rensburg. Now, you can see him behind here, working, ran right across the field to get into position and set James Small away. And didn't the winger pin his ears back here? Oh, and there's a lovely shot. Neil Penrose almost getting the ankle tap tackle.
Now the scrum still having problems, and the referee still having difficulty. Robert Dupree eventually getting it in and getting it back on the Natal side. Decides he'll do the kicking himself from inside his 22 and finds his touch.
Again, good play, Robert Dupree, taking the responsibility himself. And just look at his foot position. Exemplary.
And there you have it all. 6 minutes remain. Just a 3-point margin. Natal ahead of Transvaal. Andrew Blakeway for Natal. While Bartman trying to get it back.
And Andrew Blakeway has had a cracking game for Natal. He really has. He's been everywhere. His tackling and pressurization of the halfbacks has been excellent.
But good play by all the Natal loose forwards. Gary Teichmann has corner flagged well and covered well. And Val Bartman, as always, very strong and burrowing in and trying to get the ball back for the Natal side. Van Deventer on the field in place of the injured Garth Wright, who left shortly after the second half had commenced. Hoists the high one. Reese Edwards takes it. Wasn't sure whether he was inside his in-goal area or not. Decides to run and kick. And Theo van Rensburg keeps it in the field of play. The scissors. Tony Watson with the tackle. Henny LaRue can't pick it up. And a penalty to Transvaal.
Well, this is incredible stuff, and this is exactly, of course, what Northern Transvaal will not be wanting. With 5 minutes to go, a chance for Transvaal to level the scores. And of course, if the kick goes over and if the score remains, then both of these sides will meet in the Currie Cup final. Well, just possibly Tony Watson going high. And remember, Theo van Rensburg, of course, has a strong wind behind him. And that is 11 kicks out of 11 he has kicked in the last 2 games. And that is an unbelievable record. And my money's on him to get this one. I don't know about you, Simon.
Well, he has been kicking it well.
The crowd very, very unsporting indeed.
Has the distance, and he makes no mistake at all. Back on even terms, 16 points apiece. And just 4 minutes left in this match here at Kings Park.
Well, that is a wonderful, wonderful kick, and the pressure on Theo van Rensburg must have been intense. He doesn't even look like he's going to miss with any of these kicks.
On your ball, does he get to the 10-metre line? Not quite.
And that's a very, very bad mistake by Henry Honeyball, giving the initiative to Transvaal.
Van Deventer waits to get the ball from Jannie Breed, and he decides with the long kick now. Reese Edwards has to run back, does it well to take it over his shoulder. And slews off the side of his boot, Harry Roberts. In goes Bongo van der Merwe.
Hou dit hierso, bly julle stil. Bly julle net stil. Dit word hulle bal. Julle maak nie daai bal beskikbaar nie. Heeltemal reg.
You can hear that Albert Adams is fed up with the players talking. And I think anyone who talks now is going to get penalised.
No doubt he's had his hands full this afternoon. Two minutes remain on the big scoreboard. 16 points apiece. Robert Dupree can't get his pass away.
Val net hier oor. Strafskop.
Quick take by Natal. Peter Miller, he decides to use the high one. But just straight into touch.
Two minutes to go. And I just wonder, will the sides go to win it?
Standing very wide. And certainly well within his range.
And he's screaming at his bench. I think he's looking for a new pair of shorts. Henny LaRue. This must be drop goal territory.
John Allen and Ian MacDonald. Tempers flaring a little bit as the referee calls them across for the scrum. Quick heel. Robert Dupree takes it and is taken at the same time. Does manage to get it back though.
And Cobus van Deventer certainly giving Robert Dupree some of his own medicine. Hounded him at the last two scrums. But look at the way Dupree stayed on his feet and managed to get the ball back to his back row. That is one of his real strengths.
This is a strong man, difficult to put down. And Gary Teichmann once again assisting his scrum off. Tap back by Cobus van Deventer. Can't master it. Untidy stuff.
Knocked on.
Well, we've had 40 minutes in this, the second half. The referee looking at his watch.
Hold it.
Time is up on the board, and can you believe it? A 16-all draw at this stage, and certainly not a contrived result. Now just think of the pressure on Robert Dupree here, on his hooker. To give a penalty away, even a free kick at this stage, could be very, very serious indeed.
And there goes the final whistle. You can see Jannie Breert raising his fist. He's delighted. He knows the Transvaal are in the Currie Cup final, as are Natal. They've picked up 1 point each, which means that no other side can catch them. But what an amazing battle it's been down here at Kings Park. Really tough encounter, and ending up with both sides level pegging at the end with 16 points apiece, and certainly has been a nail-biting finish this afternoon.
Well, a very exciting match, lots of mistakes, but certainly gripping. And who would have believed a 16-all result? I mean, that puts both sides into the Currie Cup final.